The diner smelled of sizzling bacon, fresh coffee, and a hint of rain drifting in from the cold evening outside. The neon sign flickered in the window, casting a blue glow over the red leather booths. Inside, people were chatting in low tones, forks clinking against plates. The kind of quiet night that usually ended without drama. But tonight wasn't going to be one of those nights. At the corner booth sat a little boy, no more than 8 years old. His small hands wrapped around a cup of hot chocolate that was almost bigger than his face. His name was Elijah. His mother had gone to the restroom for just a minute, leaving him alone. He wore a neat little sweater vest and shiny shoes, his legs dangling off the seat because they couldn't touch the floor. He was humming softly, lost in the warmth of the mug. Then the doorbell above the entrance jingled. A man stormed in, tall and broad-shouldered, with a leather jacket and a smirk that could chill the air. His name was Derek. Everyone in town knew him. He was trouble, a bully who didn't pick fights with equals, only those he thought were weaker. And tonight, his anger needed a target. His eyes swept the diner and locked onto Elijah, a little black boy sitting alone. A cruel smile curled on Derek's lips. He swaggered over like he owned the place, knocking into tables on purpose, his heavy boots echoing on the floor. Elijah's humming faded when he saw the stranger. The man leaned down, invading the boy's space. "What's a little runt like you doing here alone?" Derek sneered. Elijah swallowed, trying to be brave. "My mom's coming back," he whispered softly. "She's just in the bathroom." Derek laughed, a low, dangerous sound. "Well, ain't that cute? Little prince sittin' here like he belongs." The diner went silent. A few people looked away, afraid to interfere. Derek had a reputation. No one wanted to get on his bad side. He reached out suddenly and flicked Elijah's mug, spilling the hot chocolate all over the table. The boy gasped and tried to scoot away. "Please. Stop," Elijah said quietly, his voice trembling. But the bully didn't stop. He leaned closer, grabbed the boy's arm roughly, and with a cruel grin, slapped him across the face. The sound echoed through the diner like a gunshot. Elijah's head snapped to the side, his cheek burning red. Tears welled in his big brown eyes, but he didn't cry out. He just sat there, shaking, too small to fight back. Gasps filled the room, but still, no one dared move. Derek straightened, laughing like he'd just told the funniest joke in the world. "That's what happens when little brats don't know their place," he spat. But what Derek didn't know, what no one in that diner, except the owner did, was that Elijah's father wasn't just any man. He was the most feared name in the city's underworld. Antonio DeLuca, the boss of a powerful Mafia family. A man who controlled more than Derek could ever imagine. And Antonio loved his son more than his own life. At that exact moment, the bell over the door jingled again. A tall man in a dark tailored suit stepped inside, his black overcoat dripping with rain. His hair was slicked back, his jaw sharp, his eyes piercing. Antonio DeLuca. The air in the diner shifted instantly. The regulars felt it, that heavy, dangerous stillness that comes before a storm. Antonio's eyes went straight to the corner booth. His son was trembling, his cheek red, hot chocolate spilled across the table. For a moment, he didn't speak. His jaw clenched. His nostrils flared. He took one slow step forward. Derek, oblivious to who he was, turned and barked, "What? You got a problem, old man?" But Antonio didn't answer. He walked to his son and crouched down beside him. "Who did this?" he asked softly, his voice calm but laced with fire. Elijah's lips quivered as he pointed a small finger at Derek. Antonio brushed his son's hair gently, kissed his forehead, and whispered, "Papa's here now." Then he stood. The whole diner held its breath. Derek laughed again, but this time, it was forced. "What, you gonna give me a lecture?" "Stay out of it, Grandpa." Antonio's expression didn't change. He removed his black leather gloves slowly, one finger at a time. He handed them to the man standing quietly near the door, one of his bodyguards, who had slipped in silently behind him. "What's your name?" Antonio asked, his voice like silk wrapping around steel. "Why the hell would I tell you?" Derek spat. Antonio took a step closer. Derek instinctively stepped back, his bravado flickering. "I like to know the names of the men I bury," Antonio said softly. Derek snorted. "Bury? You threatening me?" "No," Antonio said, his eyes narrowing like a predator about to strike. "I'm promising you." Suddenly, without raising his voice, he turned to the entire diner. "Everyone, look carefully. Remember this moment. This is what happens when someone lays a hand on my son." Derek opened his mouth to curse, but Antonio moved faster than anyone expected. His fist slammed into Derek's gut like a hammer, folding the bully in half. The next punch caught his jaw, sending him crashing against the counter. Dishes shattered. Gasps turned into shocked silence. Antonio didn't scream. He didn't rant. He just moved with terrifying precision, every blow calculated. Derek tried to fight back, swinging wildly. But Antonio sidestepped like he'd done this 1,000 times. Within seconds, Derek was on the floor, his nose bleeding, his eyes wide with the realization that he'd picked the wrong child. Antonio crouched down beside him, just as calm as before. "You thought he was alone," he whispered. "But my son is never alone." Derek whimpered, the fight draining from his body. Antonio leaned closer until their foreheads almost touched. "You touched my boy. Now you'll spend the rest of your life remembering what that cost you." Then he stood and signaled to his men. 2 men in black suits appeared like shadows and lifted Derek off the floor like he weighed nothing. "Take him to the docks," Antonio said simply. "Make sure he understands respect." Derek screamed. But no one in the diner moved to help him. They all knew better. The men dragged him out into the rain, disappearing into the night. Antonio adjusted his coat, his composure returning like nothing had happened. He turned back to Elijah, scooped him up gently, and carried him out of the diner. As they stepped into the wet night, he whispered, "No one will ever hurt you again, son. Not while I breathe." The next morning, word of what happened at the diner spread through the city like wildfire. People whispered in fear and awe. Derek was found the next day at the docks, bruised, terrified, and forever changed. He left town, never to be seen again. But more importantly, the name Elijah became untouchable. No one dared look at that boy the wrong way, because everyone now knew who his father was. But for Antonio, it wasn't about power or reputation. It was about love, the kind of love that makes a man willing to burn the world for his child. And Elijah never forgot that night. He grew up knowing his father's shadow was both a shield and a warning. Years later, when he told the story himself, he always ended it the same way: "Don't ever mistake kindness for weakness. My father was gentle with me. But to the world, he was a storm." And that night at the diner became legend. A single slap that changed a bully's life forever. A moment that reminded everyone, sometimes, the smallest person in the room has the most powerful protector.